Hey guys, a very good morning and welcome back to another daily market outlook. So first of all, thank you for watching. As always, a very good morning to you and hope you have an amazing day. Now before we start, I just want to touch a little bit on yesterday's market outlook because you can see that the dollar has played out to absolute perfection. EURUSD, absolute perfection as well. If you took that 15-minute trade from yesterday, I know a few of you did, you tagged me inside Discord, so extremely grateful. And this is just really why I do these market outlooks every single day, because if I see that you guys take those setups that I explained, it just fills me with joy and makes me so happy. So without further ado, let's just dive into today's market outlook and start with EURUSD, and then we're going to head on to the major dollar pairs and of course gold. So EURUSD first of all has pushed down lower. Well, obviously we can see that yesterday's daily area of supply, or the daily supply zone from I think it was Thursday or Monday, acted perfectly. We can see that we tapped in over here with that daily wick, and from there we just continued down lower. Here on the 4-hour time frame as well, you can perfectly see that we were traced in towards the overall buy before the sell, and then we saw already a further drop down. Now guys, this is exactly what I explained always, and you can watch back I think Tuesday's video or Monday's video. I was explaining, hey, this is the area of supply that you would preferably want to go short from, but what if the market is so extremely bearish that it doesn't retrace all the way up in towards there, and it will just react to the overall order flow. And the overall order flow is just the market structure supply zone, right? The overall buy up before the sell down. And then if you go in towards the 1 hour or in towards the 15-minute time frame, you can see that here on the 15-minute time frame, as soon as we come in towards that overall buy before the sell and we tap in towards this refined area of supply, we tap in, we see the change of character, and as soon as we see that change of character, we just tap again in towards that supply zone, and from there we see the initial or the overall sell-off in towards the downside. So some very clean price action overall, and very happy to see that. Now overall here on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that again the fractal structure has now shifted. Here we had a 4-hour fractal break, meaning that this is now your 4-hour fractal high, and that this is now your 4-hour fractal low. Overall, we're now seeing a retracement, which is perfectly fine, and we would preferably want to see that at least in towards the overall 50%, and then of course even in towards either this supply zone number 1 or the overall buy before the sell as well. So let's keep an eye on that, what happens. Not looking for shorts at this point in time. Obviously the overall momentum is still down, but there is one thing that we need to take into consideration. And again, if you've been watching my videos for quite some time now, you know what I mean, and that is the weekly area of supply that we've now hit on the dollar index. Wow, I mean guys, if you watch the videos for, again, on a daily basis very frequently, you know that I've been mentioning this area of weekly supply here on the dollar index, and more specifically 109,500. Now you can see we tapped that level to absolute perfection, and straight away we're seeing a reaction. Does this now mean that we are becoming bearish? Now we're going to start seeing a sell-off? Not necessarily, because obviously the overall fractal structure is still bullish. Here we saw a weekly fractal high break, meaning this is now your weekly fractal low, and that this is your overall sell before the buy, which just could be tapped into before heading up higher once again. So keep that in mind. Then we head down in towards the daily, and we can see that the daily is also still bullish. There is no sign of a potential sell-off just yet. We have the buy up, sell down, buy up, sell down, buy up, sell down, buy up. So this is now our strong area of demand, which is holding. So we could just perfectly see a sell-off, and then, for example, the continuation only once we see that weekly fractal break, the daily fractal break, and the daily fractal break, guys, is just daily structure break. So if you look at the daily structure, very simply said, all you need to understand is that this is now your daily protected low. If this daily fractal low were to break, that would also mean that your weekly fractal low pretty much would also break. And then from that moment onwards, we could start seeing a deeper correction occur. Otherwise, this demand zone should just remain in control and continue to push the market up higher, okay? Because remember, in order for you to see a pullback, for you to see a trend shift, you need two things. You need a higher time frame area of supply, and you need an overall change of character / fractal structure shift. So we have that higher time frame area of supply, but now we need to wait for that fractal structure shift to confirm that the overall trend now wants to start shifting. So that's the dollar index. Going into AUDUSD. AUDUSD here has again pushed down lower, but to be honest, yesterday it was stalling a little bit, stalling much more than GU and EU. Now overall here from a weekly perspective, let's take a look at that. We are nearing the overall swing low here. Does it need to take out the swing low? It does not, but it would be preferable before seeing a retracement up higher, as the retracement then overall would be higher probability to start trading, because preferably you want to start Going in on longs, once we see a, for example, weekly fractal break on this high over here, which broke this fractal low, and then also you would preferably want to do that or go long from an area of demand / liquidity, which is underneath that low. So that's pretty much what I'm waiting for. I would love to see one more short on AUDUSD happen today. Is it going to happen? Not sure. Let's keep an eye on what it does today. Overall, this is currently your fractal high, and the supply zone is currently still holding, as we can see, but it is getting riskier and riskier to sell, guys, because we can see that the overall downside move has been pretty much active for a very, very long time, and at some point in time there will be a retracement. Preferably it will happen after tapping in towards that demand zone and then seeing the structural shift and then go long. So I would like to see one more sell-off from that area of supply, preferably. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we are also fractal bearish still, so your fractal structure here on the 4-hour has not changed. It is still this high, which is your protected high. So now focus on the lower time frame and see if there are any shorting opportunities. Yesterday there was a setup on the 15-minute time frame where you had the fractal structure shift over here, where this was the fractal high, this was the fractal low break, and then you retraced in towards this overall area of supply, from where we could then wait for confirmation again, which you got over here, and then this became your area of supply. I know it may sound a little bit vague, but we retrace in towards that supply zone and then we sell off. So there was a setup over there on AU. Was it super high probability? Not necessarily, but it was nice to see that the overall trend again just continued. Now you can see that AU is becoming a little bit slow, so I would preferably want to stay out of this. We're getting kind of like this descending correction over here, where it's just slow price action, so you need to stay safe and cautious. Going into GBPUSD, we can see that GU has sold off very heavily, much more similar to EU. Overall, we're pretty overextended in towards the downside, of course. Do you want to still be selling this? Well, preferably not, because we would want to see a retracement in towards the supply zone, because we can see that we're currently here on the daily time frame inside a demand zone, which is relatively strong. From this demand zone, we saw a V-shaped reversal all the way back up in towards the highs. So I would not be surprised if we do see a pretty strong reaction from this area of demand. But yeah, obviously a downtrend, like we're in a downtrend, and when you hit areas of demand like this demand zone over here, these areas of demand should just be a reaction point. Okay, we don't expect full-blown reversals until we see like the daily fractal structure shift, the weekly structure shift, and for example the daily swing high over here to get broken, and then we get that push up again. So keep that in mind. That is definitely kind of like the idea. For now, we're still bearish as long as this daily fractal high holds. And then we have this obviously as our area of supply. So let's keep an eye on that supply zone. What happens once we get back in towards there. We don't need to happen, or we don't need to get it back in towards there, because we could also just sell off straight away again today. But for us to get into a good short, we need it to retrace. Otherwise, I'll just stay out. So again, I get a lot of the questions like, Fabio, can we now enter this? Can we now enter that? No, it doesn't work like that. Trading, you need to wait. You need to have patience. You need to wait for the setup to form according to the plan and the strategy that you have. And for myself, we only trade from areas of supply or demand. So obviously, we need to wait for that supply zone to get hit, because I'm not going to trade from this area of demand, because that would be a counter trend trade, especially if you look at this overall trend. It's extremely bearish, so you don't want to be trying to call the bottom, right? Going into NZDUSD next. NZDUSD very similar to AUDUSD. Overall, we saw again a very nice reaction to this overall area of supply. This is currently your fractal high over here, and we should just head down lower once again after tapping in towards there. So I mean, as long as that daily fractal high is respected, shorts are still on the table. Overall, the only thing I do not like is that we've broken the 4-hour fractal low here already, meaning that this is now your 4-hour fractal high. So as long as that 4-hour fractal high is respected, yes, we should continue to push down lower. So I want to see it push down lower from here. Otherwise, if we break this high over here, NZDUSD shorts for myself become invalidated. Going into gold, last of all, gold saw a very heavy push yesterday in towards the upside. And as you can see, guys, I still have the liquidity high marked out from yesterday's video. You can see that we perfectly take out the high, and straight away we see a reaction. So very nice to see that happen. Overall, what I'll be looking at now is how we retrace in towards this area of demand, which is this sub for the buy, because that is now currently in control. So that's currently in control. on the 4-hour time frame on the daily. So for me, gold is currently too bullish, not looking for shorts, but still very nice to see a reaction above this or these liquidity highs. So this is the power of like trendline liquidity. You can very clearly see that there's a trend line over there, or you could consider this a range as well, and that we grab the range high and that we then see the retracement. So what I'll be looking for is a deeper retracement before looking for longs once again. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day, and if you have any questions, make sure to always join Discord and we'll speak there. Thanks.